Hey, have you ever gotten rolled? If you don't know what rolled is, you probably haven't been in insurance very long, but high level, it means you basically tried quoting someone's insurance, you presented, you were less money, they took your price, went to the current agent that they use, have worked with, and then that agent miraculously drops their price and now they're less than you and they stay put. That's getting rolled. Well, if that's something you've experienced and you never want to experience again, stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to share with you a real life example of how a guy I mentor got rolled, and how to hopefully avoid it from happening in the future. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Max Revenue channel. My name's Micah Salas. Our goal is simple here. We want to help new producers or old producers or producers anywhere in the spectrum become better at selling insurance. So if you're here for that, do us a favor. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Let's get into this. All right. Hey, if you haven't checked out if you haven't checked out Diary of a New Producer, the series that we did, we had about 32 episodes on that. Go check it out. What I did on there is I mentored a guy, we called him Incognito. We talked every week, and we just talked about relevant real life things that he was struggling with as a new producer. And so there's a lot of information in there, everything from cold calling, prospecting, selling, meetings, all that stuff is in the episodes. Go check them out. But on this week's episode, I want to share with you, because Ian and I still have a relationship. I'm still mentoring him. He got rolled last week. Bad, right? He came in about 20K less. The agent went to the owner, and all of a sudden dropped their price, and the owner stayed put. Man, my heart was broke for Ian. He was frustrated. Never good to lose 20,000 in revenue like that. So I thought, hey, why not do a little video and share some lessons learned as I look back on the deal. And I'll just take ownership, first of all. As his mentor, I should have done a better job up front. I'm also a producer, though, so give me some grace. But I should have done a better job at helping him do this. And so it's a learning lesson for everybody. I'm not speaking at Ian. I'm just talking like to all y'all. Like, this is what you got to do to help prevent getting rolled. And one other disclaimer to set the table. He could not he could not agent of record get hired on this. He had to quote there with a direct writer that Ian does not have access to. So that wasn't even in the table here. I'm a big fan of agent of record letter, working that way almost exclusively if you can, but there's exceptions, right? There's times we just can't do it, and this was one of those times. Okay, so what happened? First mistake Ian made, way too late, right? We got all the quotes in like 4 days prior, not even 3 days before the X date. Now, the incumbent hadn't even come in, and the buyer was like, hey, this happens all the time. But it doesn't matter if that's what the incumbent does. We need to set the table right. And so if I go back in time when Ian first met, he should have kind of laid the ground rules and said, hey, what date do you want to see these numbers by? Okay, let's agree upon August 20th, right? 3 weeks prior. That's the date we agree upon. But Mr. Business Owner, if I'm going to meet that date, can you make sure your current carrier and your current agent meet that date as well? Because I don't think that's really fair, right? Yeah, no. And if they don't, what's that going to look like? What are you going to do? Those are the kind of conversations and questions you got to ask. Now, it doesn't mean they'll follow through on this when it comes to decision-making time if those rules get broken, but you can at least hold their feet to the fire a little bit, in a respectful way. And so that's the first thing is set the ground rules, and then that will set up to make sure that you aren't too late, right? One of the struggles is Ian was trying to get the information. The buyer was, had a hard time getting them everything they needed and all that stuff. So that delayed it. It's not like Ian was trying to be late to the party here. This is where, though, I think a lot of times we talk about being last look. I think if you can be first look, it actually can work out to your advantage, because you set the bar high then, right? You come out, boom, set it here. They're used to getting stuff down here, and you just impress them. And you're not playing all those games. I want to get last, so I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold my quote. That's fine. I know the strategic side of it. I know why people do it. It can work, but I'm more of a believer and a fan of first look. Go out there, attack, set the bar, get it done, and impress the buyer. Okay, the second mistake that Ian made is he didn't meet in person when he made the final presentation. He'd met in person initially, but there is just power in proximity, especially when you're trying to sell and you're trying to break up a relationship, which insurance we oftentimes are, right? And if you can drive to a place, drive there. I don't care if it's inconvenient, just do it if it's a big enough account. Now, if we're talking a $500 premium account, don't do that. Or if it's several states away, don't feel the same pressure. Now, it still might make sense, but I've closed a lot of deals post-COVID, especially several states away. We do our final presentation over the phone. What makes it a little bit unique is you got to know what the relationship is like with that current agent, right? If it's a stronger one, then I would say, man, if you're not in person, it's going to be really tough to break that up. If it's already a weak relationship, you might not need to be in person. It just depends. Okay, the last thing though, and this kind of leads into that, is he didn't meet with the actual decision maker. He thought he did. He was meeting with like the CFO or controller. The guy said, yep, I do this. I've been here X amount of years. Great. Problem was, I asked Ian, like, when he got the quotes in, we were looking good. I said, hey, man, did you talk to the owner? Yeah, I talked to my guy. He's got to talk to the owner, though. Right when he said that, I was like, oh, gut punch. Because I was like, man, we haven't been talking to the decision maker this whole time. Meanwhile, your CFO, your guy has been complaining about this carrier you're with and this agent, but that's not the owner. And so all that work you would do to like not get rolled, lay groundwork, get commitments from the buyer is great, but you got to be doing that with the actual decision maker. If you're not, it's kind of like chopping your legs off, right? And you can't blame the buyers for this, guys. You just can't. We would all do the same thing. We got two different options we're looking at. The incumbent comes down, 20,000. Yeah, maybe it pisses you off a little bit, but hey, that's kind of business, and there's risk to changing. You're going to stay put, especially if you don't know this new company, this new guy. And so this is why I should have mentioned this in the lay the groundwork part. But one thing that's really key when you can do that is not only on date, but you can say, hey, if I come in and I'm like 20 grand less, what are you going to do when Federated says, hey, I can come back and match that or be less? What are you going to do? Just stop there, make them answer you. And you could just say, that's fine. I just want to make sure we're on the same page because this is a lot of work, a lot of investment. If you don't want to leave, you're not comfortable leaving for that, that's fine. But I've been burned before and just want to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm not going to sit here and twist your arm, but how do you do business? How do you operate? And if you can get commitment from them there, from the decision maker, fast forward to when the incumbent tries doing that, you can actually turn that into a negative. And the business owner's like, now they're pissed at the incumbent. They're like, they just dropped their price 20 grand. Why didn't they come with their best price right away? I'm going with you. Let's sign up, right? See what I'm doing there? So that's the deal, guys. Again, purpose of this video is not to harp on Ian. I think we've all been enrolled. We've all made these mistakes, especially early on in our career. So hopefully this video serves as a good opportunity to learn from this and to get better. That's all I got for you. If you like our video, do us a favor here. Subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. We're trying to grow the channel to help more people out. And if you do that, it helps us help more people. That's all I got. Thanks.